San Diego, Chile. This is my 2nd year to go to Chile with Ron Morton. That's the airplane we went from O'Hare to Miami. There's the paper you need to fill out so you can get into the country. There's the water filtration system. It's all hand built, and the water goes from one tank to the other, and then the excess flows down through the can. They use it for washing and bathing, but not for drinking. There is some of the stuff they're getting ready for the big 1,200 people picnic on Saturday. There's some cabins there, and in the corner there's a first aid house, and there's some bathrooms in the corner. They want to tear that down and make that a two-story house. That picture's in the dining hall. They're getting ready for a big party. There's the other side of the dining hall. That's where the kids can play when it's cold outside. There's some of the missionaries there, and it was at lunchtime, and we were having some really, really good food. That's the start of the remodeling project for the missionaries to stay there. We need to remodel the bathroom so they have something nice. There's some more of the bathroom project. There's the bunk beds that we had to take out. There's the pile of bunk bed stuff that we tore out, and we have to get rid of it. There's the wall of where the bunk beds were. That's the bathroom, and Ron's trying to get the paint off the wall because he has to get it off before he can tile the bathroom. There's the only pickup truck they have on the property, and they're unloading some stuff for the picnic in the cabin. There's Greg and one of the missionaries, and we're having supper at his house. There's another missionary family there. There's one of the countertops that's all cement, and we have to take it out because it's no good. Ron will remake it. There's some of the dinner we had one of the nights in the dining hall. There's some more. It's a special dinner they had for us. There's some more food for the dinner. There's some more of the toilets we had to take out. 4 toilets in one cabin. There's the ceiling we had to nail up. There's Leo. He's trying out pressure washing because he said it shouldn't be that hard. There's some of the food we had one night to eat. There's Greg and Leo. There's father and son, and there's a big wok there with food in it. Ron's making a frame to hold the cement for the new countertop. They're getting ready to cut down the tree because it's in the way of the new telephone line. There's a guy up there from New Jersey cutting it down. There he's cutting it up after it's down. There's some of the insulation we're putting on the wall to keep the cold out. There's some more of the insulation. There's some more food we had one night. There's a guy from New York. He's a missionary, and he had to fix the pipe because we couldn't have the water on for the picnic. There's the snack shack. There's a snack shack where you can get cakes and pies and desserts. There are some homemade cinnamon rolls and coffee we had. There, some of the young kids are getting ready to hang up the church banner for the big picnic. There's some more of the people from the big picnic. There we are, getting ready to park cars. That was our job for the picnic. There was their first lawnmower on the property. They took them 3 days to mow this big soccer field, but the weeds were 2 feet tall. There's Leo standing there waiting for cars. There's a water fountain there that they use for washing their hands. There's some more of the picnic. There's some people getting ready to see the tug of war. There's some more of their churches marked off so they can have their own spot for the picnic. There's a tug of war going on at the moment. There are some of the people, 45 people, committed their life to Christ that day. They're having a little performance, but you really can't see it. There's some more of the different churches there. There's like 12 different churches. There's the sound system they use for the big picnic. There's some of the barbecue grills and tables they had at the picnic. There's Mark setting up the drums, getting ready for the picnic. There's a guy with drums, and he had homemade drumsticks. Now they're playing volleyball at the picnic. There's the new lights. They have 6 of them they put up last year after we left. There's the flags that from all the different countries that are there. A special church came in and gave a performance for the little kids. There's some more of the church performance. There's the end of the church performance. There's another picture of the lawnmower, and there's some of the rocks that are on the property. There they are. 2 guys there, and they gave out keys, and then you could get a real key and see if you could win a prize. They had a big prize in the box. There's our cabin we stayed in for the week. There's one of the dogs that Greg's playing with. There's one of the churches we went to on Sunday. It's a Baptist church, the Tabernacle. It says, we invite your family. The meetings are Sunday from 10 and 12, and then again at 8 p.m. And it says, God shows us love for his love in that we will still sin in Christ, dies for us. Romans 5, verse 8. There's one of the gas pumps that Ron said it's $5 a liter for gas. There's the guy that puts it in your vehicle. There's one of the bouncy houses in the restaurant we went to eat at Sunday afternoon. There's some of the delicious food we had at the restaurant. There's Ron and his daughter getting ready to eat the food we had on Sunday. And then we went to one of the little shops to see if we could buy some treasures to bring home. There's a popcorn and cotton candy machine at the little shops we visited. There's a celery in the grocery store. The celery is twice as long as ours. That's the way it grows in Chile. There's the paneling we put up on the ceiling to cover up the insulation. There you can see one of the lights that we put up, and you can see we had to put cardboard to hold up the insulation. There's a radio we begged and begged ever since we got there. We asked them for a radio, and they finally brought us a radio on Tuesday or Wednesday so we could have some kind of music. There's the mountains early one morning. There's the dogs that's run around the property. There's some food we had one night, potatoes and meat. There's a dog bathing in the sun. There's some Mexican food. There's chicken and beef. The lady tried to make the shells, but she couldn't make the shells, so she had to go down to the market and buy them. There we are at a missionary's house. There's Ron and Leo and me. There's some more of the ceiling going up. You can see the screws we had to screw it up with. There's the countertop, all done except for taking the frame down. There's some more delicious food we had to eat. There's Greg using a sander to sand the walls smooth before they paint them. There it's still working. There's 2 sisters that are missionaries that gave us lunch. There's the countertop before the tile goes on. and the holes are cut. There's a cornmeal dinner we had one night. We had a cornmeal at those missionaries' house. They were getting ready to go to bed. There's some of the tools we had to work with when we remodeled the cabin. There's the hole we had to cut to get up to the attic, and we had to frame it in. There's a guy from New York. He's 18 years old. He's painting the walls. There's a guy from New York again. He's fitting the door in. Now he's trying the door. They're getting ready. They're getting ready for the party there. There's some more food we had to eat. There we are at the party, having all kinds of food. There's Friday morning, a church school. They had 3 buses bring kids there. They're renting the camp. There's some more food we had to eat. There was the missionary's house Friday morning. That's the last missionaries we saw. There's another picture of the mountains. There we are on the way to the airport. You can't see really, but I put an air nail in my finger. There's another picture of the water fountain. There's another picture of the tent. That's the last picture. And all I want to say is when we left Saturday morning, they had a really bad riot there. And it is still going on. But as of now, the camp is not in any danger. Ron was there when it happened, but he got out okay. And they have a rail system underneath the ground, and that's what they were burning up because they were raising the price of the transportation. Yeah, it was about a nickel an hour money, and they were burning things, and it's a bad time, but as far as I know, everybody from the camp is safe.
Anybody have any questions for Steve?
Steve, how many cabins are there on this camp?
There are 7 cabins on the property.
And your main job on this trip was to remodel one of those cabins?
We remodeled 2. Yeah, we remodeled 1 cabin, so there's going to be some missionaries studying there next year. There'll be like 12 people in the cabins.
Tell them about that, Steve, how the reason they're remodeling the cabin. Stand up and tell them.
Because they don't have a school there now, but next year they're starting a school for missionaries. They don't have a school there now for missionaries, but next year they will have a school for like 12 missionaries.
And is the camp close to the city where the riots were, or are they out of town?
They're a ways from where the riots were.
And they were going on all over Brazil, or just in this town?
They were going all over Chile.
Or Chile,
Bolivia.
What?
They were having riots in Bolivia.
Were they? Mm-hmm. And that.
Ron said that they looted and burned a bunch of Walmart stores.
All done? Okay. Thank you.
So next year I might want to go to Poland instead.
That'd be kind of neat if you could go to Poland with the Thomases. That'd be great. Just one thing that has my curiosity, Steve. I didn't see any pictures of you. Are you sure Ron didn't mail those pictures and you went to Florida? You're the star of the show, Steve. We want to see you working and sweating down there. All right, let me just make a couple of observations. First of all, did you hear in the presentation that Steve said 45 people made commitments to Christ? Okay. We don't have that happen here in a year. Steve was there for 10 days. That camp hosts hundreds of people every year, and typically they have many people come to Christ, and many of them go on to serve the Lord diligently. And now they're going to be training missionaries to be more effective from that campground. That's very important work. It's part of our mission. Remember what Jesus said to his disciples before he left? He said, go into all the world. Preach the gospel. Now, it's got to start here, and it's something that we're working at getting better on. But it's also important that we have influence outside of this place. So when we're sending Steve, we're sending him in direct response to what Jesus asks us to do. All of us who pray for Steve, all of us who donate to his expenses, all of us have a part in that. And it's really a big deal. Those of you who've been with me for a long time know I don't like to give up the pulpit. And yet, I say year after year, I think this probably is the most important thing that we observe and that we have come over the pulpit, because this is what God calls us to do, and we must never lose our focus on this fact. There are people in Chile who don't know Christ. There are people all over South America that don't know Christ. There are people all over North America that don't know Christ. There are people all over your family tree and all over Sterling and all over your Facebook who don't know Christ. Oh, they know about Christ, but they haven't trusted him as Savior. And so, passion is really important. We want to keep doing this. I truly want us to get to the point where we just have to close church on a Sunday because everybody's gone on a mission trip. That would be great. So, thank you, Steve. Very important. You're an example and a role model to all of us. I could never have adequate words to say how important I think this is.